Lair.
Hi, Dave.
How you doing, buddy?
Here we are, me and you in a room again. Pants on or off this time?
Let's stay fully clothed.
All right.
What the heck? So tell me, you grew up in Dwight, Illinois?
Yes.
And then when did you move to Chicago?
Well, I used to live in Joliet slept on my brother's couch while I did comedy in Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah. So what was the first club you worked in Chicago?
Comedy Womb.
The Womb. Oh,
where
wow.
comedians are born.
Yeah.
And often die.
Yeah. When was the
Cottage was the other.
In the Comedy Cottage.
Yeah.
I did a showcase there. That's how I got that gig. That's where I met you. In Maryville. Yeah. And I went up there and got a chance.
I used to drive back and forth.
Oh, yeah. That was a long way. Yeah. So then, when was the first time you worked for Zanies?
78 when they opened.
Oh, they didn't open until 78.
Yeah.
Oh, for crying out loud.
They first opened.
At North and Wells?
Yep. The cousin owned it before Ricky. His cousin owned it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then he owed him money and wasn't paying, so then Ricky took it over.
Huh.
And ran it like a strip joint.
They did?
Yeah, because he used to have strip joints, so we did 2 shows a night.
Every night?
Every night, the same crowd. If they didn't turn the crowd, he had to go up again. And work to the same people.
Oh, jeez.
You know, if they didn't like you the first show, then they're still there, you got to go back.
Oh, they really didn't like
One time, Emo, before he was Emo, you know, he used to have a lot of different names. He went up and they didn't like him the first show. So the second show, he found a beard, a fake beard, because they used to have improv groups and they had a lot of problems. Put on a hat and a beard. He looked Amish, and he went up as Phineas Ahab. And he killed.
No.
Yeah. They liked him as Phineas Ahab, but they didn't like him as Phil Sultan.
Who were some of the big guys you worked with back then that later on went to be big names?
Big? Well, Leno. Used to open for him. And Leno, Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Drew Carey. Oh, there's a lot of them. Arsenio Hall started in Chicago.
Right, yeah.
A lot of people don't, he never talks about that, but that's where he started his
right. And the summer, what summer was it you stayed home and emceed shows at the downtown Zanies so you could go to Cub games every year?
86. Well, I house emceed for a whole year in 82, and then the summer 86.
So you could go to...
I could go to Cub games.
Yeah.
Hang out. That's when I met my wife.
Right?
What a stupid one. Best thing ever happened to me, Dave.
I know it was. Yeah, you don't want to have any...
You should watch this. Oh, I love your pudding. Best thing that ever happened.
Fun.
86.
Oh. Now, you used to take guys to the game all the time, but you used to meet Michael Irwin there.
Yeah.
And then, what was it, the summer he was trying to be super fan?
He was super fan. He wore a cape and a mask.
Yeah.
And stretch pants.
And
like a stretch out with a big S on a super fan.
And so would you sit with him in the stands?
Oh, yeah.
What was the reaction of the other people around him?
Not. Some liked him and some. One time I was with Jackie, Jackie Martin was turned the joke man.
Yeah.
I take him to the Cub game. I go, we're meeting some people there. So we walk in and he sees Mike and Mike is a big guy.
Right.
And he's got the cape and Martin goes, don't tell me that's the guy we're meeting. I go, yep. So then we sat by him and there was some drunks and they started heckling me and Martling and him and Mike. And then we just started in because Martling knows every joke,
right.
Insult, and I know a lot of insult. So then we start insult, and then they get mad and they just want to fight us.
Tell me about meeting Rodney Dangerfield the first time.
Well, the first time I met him, he called me on the phone.
Oh wow!
And I thought it was a joke.
Sure.
I thought somebody could,
yeah.
Hey baby, hey daddy, I dig you, man, I love you,
right.
And stuff, And then first time I met him, we did the special. I showed up
on HBO.
Yeah.
Was he a good guy?
Great guy. Well, I told you a story where he was smoking pot.
Really?
At the bar, at the Trap, me and Fox or whatever, and he's smoking a joint. And we're like, what are you doing, Rodney? He goes, hey, I'm a big draw. When you're a draw, you can sleep with the chairman's daughter, and he'll ask you how it was.
This is at the Tropicana in Las Vegas?
Smoking a joint right at the bar.
Oh, for crying out. He partied pretty hard.
And then he picked up, one night we were going to meet him in a bar, and he picks up a girl. We're up at the club, and we were going to go in a bar. He goes to bed. He comes back. He's got a girl he met in the hall. He's like, you guys go down. I got to take care of business. So
yeah. He
went and got a blowjob in the elevator.
Oh, man.
From like a 20-some-year-old girl. And, which what I wonder about is I can understand if it's Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, but who do you brag about that you were with Rodney? And then Rodney would be like, chicks dig me for me. They like my personality.
Yeah.
Because he knew, because he was famous.
Yeah.
He knew what it was.
So, all the years you've worked and all the shows that you've done, what are some of the highlights that you've accomplished so far? I know you won that comedy contest. That was in Las Vegas, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was doing the Rodney special. Right. I won a $35,000 at the Las Vegas Comedy Fest.
Right.
And I did Showtime All Stars, Comedy Club All Stars.
Yeah. Those are the
And now in a room with you in Indianapolis. Take me now, Lord. All right.
Well, it was our famous Super Bowl wager that was a lot of fun too. With the Colts and the Bears a few years in the Bears.
Yeah.
Tell them about what happened with that.
We bet that double or nothing with your club that I would work for free if the Bears lost. And you pay me double if the Colts lost.
Right. And of course the Colts won.
So I worked for free.
Right.
That week.
Yeah. Yeah. And you kept threatening to not do bad shows. Remember that?
Because it was free.
But you did your normal great shows.
I was just going to do knock knock. I wrote knock knock. I can't remember them now, but I wrote knock knock jokes.
Man, oh man. All the years.
But now you know how it feels to lose, don't you, Dave?
Unfortunately, I do.
It ain't that good, is it, Dave?
No, it's a horrible feeling. It is.
Terrible.
It's a bad feeling. Tell me about working at the Zanies in Nashville. We had a lot of fun working that room, but that room had kind of a weird personality.
Yeah.
It was not always the easiest room.
No, it was kind of hard. Yeah.
Matter of fact, you at one point had a no-Ville.
Yeah, no Vills. I didn't work Vills for many years.
No Nashville.
Nashville, Louisville, Greenville. The only Ville up north is Amityville, and that was a horror story.
Tell me about what, of course that was a great gig, but tell me about working with Bob and Tom and what that's done for you.
Oh, that's been they've been the greatest, because they're in 100 and some markets. And, they put comics on every week, or every day they put them. Yeah, they're great for comedians.
Yeah. Is it weird when you show up at some town, maybe you're not even aware that it's a Bob and Tom town, yet people know who you are?
Know, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they do these shows, the All-Star shows, where you go out and
right.
do it with those are great. In theaters, 1,500 people.
And then
crowds are great.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. You sit in that little room. It's not such a little room any longer, but and you just talk, and it's like you're just talking to Bob and Tom and Christy and Chick.
Right.
And you forget that there's 4 or 5 million people listening to everything that goes on.
Yeah.
Obviously you've been doing comedy now how long? 30 years?
32 years. 33 in June.
Good grief. The biggest difference in clubs, is it more difficult, the crowds, the biggest changes you've seen take place?
Well, it's a lot of clubs are closing, so it's getting harder that way. So.
Yeah.
And the crowd, crowds aren't.
But you still.
Crowds aren't as good as they used to be, I don't think, because people are. When it was new,
it was exciting.
It was exciting, and people hadn't seen stand-up that in the late '70s, early '80s was brand new.
Right.
Now people have seen thousands of comedians.
Right.
It's not. The glamorous wore off of it.
But you still do a great job, and you're very prolific. How often do you write every day? Do you sit down and try to write, or is it just what comes to you and you try it on stage?
I try to write. I try to write it. I don't usually write every day, but every few days I try to write.
Put to the paper.
I was trying to write today.
Were you?
I'll try a few ones tonight, Dave.
Yeah, boy, Larry.
See what happens.
All right.
You got to do that.
Larry, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Dave.